Hello, people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Some big news regarding Arsenal today. Some big news that Gabriel Jesus actually might be leaving. Something I thought I would never hear because overall there were talks that Jesus himself has said that he wants to stay. He wants to extend his contract. He wants to stay for the period of time. And somehow all of a sudden the news are coming out that he actually might leave. Quite interesting from that point of view, especially looks like Andrea Berta is going to take no prisoners, so to speak, for this case scenario. Also regarding Jurriën Timber, he's not with Netherlands national team, obviously. He's recovering from an injury, but there are some interesting comments about his injury and how far it's gonna take us, how much it will affect us. Time only will tell, but we're definitely gonna talk about it as well. We're definitely gonna talk about that as well, and there are some other bits and bobs, and of course we're gonna touch upon Arsenal's season, because Arsenal's season, how to say this, it's in a very, very delicate spot. Let's just put it that way. On paper, we are on top, favorites, going for it. Treble is on, and all this stuff. What people are saying, but in reality, it's a bit different story, at least for me. And we're gonna talk about it, about the player fitness, rotations, Arteta, mentality, and everything. We're gonna discuss this. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna see where we land. Obviously, the stream most likely is gonna be divided in about 2-3 parts. First things first, we're gonna talk about some transfer rumors and stuff like that. We were talking about transfers yesterday as well. We're going to talk about some of them, or let's just say attention to them as well today. Then we're going to talk about Jurriën Timber, of course, about the injuries, and of course afterwards the third part of the stream, which is going to be the biggest one, it's going to be Arsenal season. Is it in trouble? Are there going to be issues? Could there be issues, and how they could affect us? Let's just put it that way. So smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course. And leave your thoughts in the chat about Arsenal, about Gabriel Jesus, about Timber's injuries, and how injuries might affect us overall this season. Let me know so we can have more open discussions and all that good stuff. Big up Animal Shorts. Big up. If we ball the league, top winners will... it's going to be wild. We can see it from a mile away, yeah. Exactly. It is a very delicate situation, as I said, and we're going to talk about it a bit later on, 100%. Big up, Mubarak. Big up. Timber had to withdraw, yes. And since you're mentioning Jurriën Timber, let's start with Jurriën Timber. Let's start with one of our main pillars defensively, one of our main guys in the team defensively, who has been the reason why we are where we are to a degree. Let's just start with him and then go from there. But basically, yeah, Jurriën Timber. They're talking about the fact that Jurriën Timber is suffering from a groin injury, which apparently is not serious, but groin injuries are one of those tricky ones, let's be real, which can go either way if not healed well properly. Let's just put it that way. And the right back is hopeful, and it's not confirmed. He's hoping himself that he will return for Arsenal's FA Cup quarterfinal at Southampton next week. So basically, it's all hope and prayers at this stage. And it's not just Jurriën Timber, as we all know. It's Eze, who is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So if we look at Eze, our number 10 issue, let's just put it that way, Eze is going to miss Southampton, both Sporting Lisbon games, and Bournemouth game. Then Man City game is about 30-70, and 50-50 afterwards, straight after we have Newcastle. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one to see how these things expand and evolve, because there's also a Trossard injury. Odegaard has been anonymous, not even talking about his gameplay. I'm talking about him being in the squad and playing, let's be real. And it looks like he might be the one who basically steps in right now, which sounds very interesting to say, because he technically is the captain of the team. He should be leading us over the line, but Arteta doesn't want to play him, which is very interesting right now, looking at this situation, because Eze has played in the 10, Havertz has played in the 10, Saka has played in the 10, and this has happened in all the time when Odegaard has been recovering, and also when he has, well, let's just say partially recovered. He obviously played a few minutes before he went out again. But many Arsenal fans, right, are now saying that once Odegaard comes back, he's gonna be the soul-saving grace of Arsenal. Odegaard is gonna be the guy to get us over the line. He's gonna be the guy to lead us to victory. That's what they are saying. And it's very hard to find words to describe this situation, given the situation, because Odegaard is not it. He's not the guy to get it over the line for us. There's a reason why Real Madrid got rid of him for such cheap money. It wasn't because he is. It's not because Real Madrid don't know how to value players or something like that. It's because they didn't see the mentality, the potential of Odegaard to fit into Madrid, and it's showing. Definitely showing. Let's be real. Odegaard is not the guy. And looking at this Odegaard situation and the fact that Eze is out for an extended period of time, Saka experiment in the 10 is just preposterous. Let's just put it that way. And like Kai Havertz in the 10, oh God help us all and everything. Even though Kai Havertz, ironically enough, for a small spell before he got injured again during the season, looked better with Gyökeres than any of the 10s we have had there, which is quite ironic, but it is what it is. Let's just put it that way. So it's going to be a very, very weird situation. Odegaard apparently should be our saving grace. And the fact that it has come to a point where many Arsenal fans are suggesting that Odegaard is our savior right now. Our sole season relies on Odegaard right now. Just feels like a joke, like an episode of Punk'd or something like that. Remember the old school MTV show Punk'd and everything? I just feel when someone gonna come out and say this stuff. But the sheer fact that Odegaard, who has been, I don't even say bang average, but let's just say bang average for last year and a half, who has had maybe 1.5 good seasons at Arsenal, the 22-23 and a tiny bit of 23-24 season. And since then, he has stunk out the gaff. Let's just put it that way. He is going to save us. He's going to be the guy to inspire the team, to create for the team, to be the guy to basically the man who is going to be our guy who's going to take the game by the scruff of its neck, pick up the team, and drag us over the line, which he has never done before, by the way. Even as soon as going gets a tiny bit tough, he disappears. It just seems very insane and as a very preposterous idea, to say the least, for me personally. Big up Hyper Protagonist, big up Mateo. Hope everything is going well. Not only Jesus, even Kai must leave. Well, Kai Havertz also must leave, and the sooner the better. The sooner the better. Big up Dana Potts. Big up. Hope your week has been fantastic. You're feeling well this beautiful Friday. Hopefully a great and fantastic weekend is ahead of you, and hopefully Dan is feeling better after that Carabao Cup disgrace. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully he's feeling better. I'm just going to say it out right there. Hopefully he's feeling better. Hopefully he's recharging for the Southampton, Lisbon Sporting, and the rest of the games. Let's be real. Hopefully he's in the better spirits right now. Let's just put it that way. Odegaard didn't save us ever. Didn't save us in 23-24, where he ghosted half the season. Exactly. The thing is, at this time, big part of Arsenal fan base, right, expect Odegaard to be our saving grace at this stage of the season when we are in the best position, so to speak, to win Premier League. We are the favorites, kinda, to win FA Cup, one of the favorites for Champions League, right? They are hoping that this guy, who couldn't do it 3 years ago against Lisbon, 2 years ago against Porto, 2 years ago against Porto and Bayern Munich, who couldn't drag us over the line then, who did nothing against PSG and these teams. Even in Premier League, he can't do anything against Wolves, Southampton, Burnley, Luton Town, and these teams. He's going to be the guy to help us beat Man City, Barcelona, Lisbon Sporting. Where does that make any sense whatsoever? Like, if he hasn't done it before, and he has had endless chunks and counts of opportunities, how is he going to do it now? It's not a thing that you can just flip a switch and you have it. You either have it or you don't. Because Alexis Sanchez had it. Let's be real. For example, it's a trait that some people possess, some people don't. You either have it or you don't. It's not a skill you can train and improve upon. And I don't know where this Odegaard prayers, Odegaard loving for the Odegaard comes from. Big up, Sean. Big up, big up, big up. If we had any sense, we'd try MLS in midfield or even bring back Mangieri. Yeah, if we had any sense. But it's very evident that Arteta doesn't. Merino has been injured for how long? For goddamn how long? And we haven't seen Skelly in the midfield. Remember Skelly in the midfield against Atletico Madrid? The way he was carrying the ball, gliding through 3-4 defenders, arguably one of the best defensively drilled teams in Europe. He was doing that. But he doesn't play pretty much at all. Last year, he saved our season to a degree. Calafiori went out. Arteta didn't trust Kiwior as a left back. Tierney as well wasn't trusted by Arteta, the idiot. I'm going to say this because I'm a big fan of Kieran Tierney, and the way he got mistreated still hurts me to this day. And he played Skelly, a youngster. Again, when shit hits the fan, when he's back against the wall, he turns to youth. He did that in 21-22 season with Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, and they saved his job. He turned last year with Mangieri and Skelly, and they have saved his job. Let's be real. And this season, he's turning again to Max Dauman to a degree. And it's also helped him because if there was no Max Dauman, we don't win against Everton. We are lucky if we get a draw against Everton. Let's be real. So how this is happening, like, I don't know. Arteta has no sense to play him in the midfield. And Odegaard is not that good. I'm Norwegian, and I don't even think Odegaard's that good. See, even Norwegians don't think Odegaard is that good. Yet we are supposed to believe that this guy is our messiah. Let's just put it that way. I'm just very curious when in the beginning, before the season, he got, who was it? Tony Adams, I think it was, or Paul Merson. Somebody called out and said, I'm now blanking on the name, I'm very sorry, that Odegaard is not the captain to get you over the line. And 2 days later, pre-game press conference, Arteta says, the players pretty much unanimously voted that Odegaard must be the captain once again. Let's be real, there was no vote. There was nothing. Because if that stuff does not get said by Arsenal legend, there is no question and no answer like that for Mikel Arteta. So why to not even imagine? I think it was Tony Adams, because he is Mr. Arsenal, right? So he should be the guy who, when he speaks, you listen. Let's be real. So why? Because as I said before, there's a reason why Real Madrid sold Martin Odegaard. They much rather kept Isco, which at the time wasn't in the best of cases. Same goes with Asensio. They got Arda Güler afterwards, a bit later. They much rather have those guys than Martin Odegaard. Yet Odegaard at 16 was the wonder kid of the world. Like, his mentality was not there, and it still isn't. Big up Hendon. Big up Hendon. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. Dan's all good. He's in a break in Morocco. Oh, bless him. Bless Dan, genuinely. Let him recover, let him rest, have a good time and everything. Big up Dan. Big up. Hopefully he's having a nice time, nice relaxing time, because as soon as he comes back, the stress is going to be back as well. If Arteta had kept Eze in the 10 and didn't bin him for Odegaard, we'd been 12, 15 points clear in the Prem. We should be, even with or without Eze, we should be 12 to 15 points clear in the Prem. Because the Premier League level this season is so low that you could argue we are the best of bad bunch, which sounds very, let's just say it sounds very rough to say, very dishonest to say to a degree towards Arsenal, but they have been the most consistent team in the league, right? At the same time, we are the best of bad bunch, because this season, just like the previous season, the levels have dropped massively. You don't have the same teams you had 3-4 years ago, when Arsenal were still on top of the table or near it and still fighting for it. Arsenal should be in this spot where we are 10 to, we should have double-digit lead. Let's just put it that way, for lack of a better word. We should have it. But, as always, Arsenal, at the end of the day, are their worst enemy. It's not Arsenal versus the rest of the league. It's Arsenal versus Arsenal at first hand. Then it's Arsenal versus Arteta. And the third place is Arsenal versus the rest of the league. And Arsenal have this tendency. It was under Wenger, it was under Emery, and now it's also under Arteta, to shoot themselves in the foot somehow to basically screw it all up. Remember the games against Olympiacos, Monaco, and games Southamptons and everything? Like, it's like DNA of Arsenal. Odegaard will be the final nail in the coffin this season's demise. Yeah. Yes, 100%. I don't trust Odegaard to do squat. Do you think we will win a trophy? Ooh. Arteta has his favorites. Yeah, 100%. He will shoehorn in the likes of Havertz, but neglect Kieran Tierney, Skelly, Vanjeri, because they are not their favorites. Exactly. Because Arteta shoehorns in Havertz, Odegaard, and everything, despite the fact that Eze plays better. Remember in the 22-23 season, when in January we signed Trossard, he was on for 2 player of the months, right? In March and another month. And at the end of the day, he benched him for no apparent reason. Trossard was flying at the time in that type of football. He was flying, and Arteta just benched him. And Arteta is absolutely afraid to admit that he is wrong. Because if he plays Skelly over Calafiori, right? If he plays Vanjeri over Odegaard, if he plays Vanjeri over Havertz, and because they look better, our team looks more dynamic, more fluid, more direct. It is basically Arteta admitting that he screwed up with Odegaard. Then that means admitting that a teenager is better than his captain. And that makes Odegaard look like a dumbass, let's be real. Captain looks like a moron, and Arteta looks like a fool. And Arteta will never admit it because that's going to basically shine a bad light on him. And there are some stuff even PR cannot basically fix at the end of the day. Declan Rice is the captain. Rice or Gabriel, one or the other most likely. Yeah, you can say that. Easily. He says one thing in an interview, in the game you see completely different. Like, prime example when he talked about, I don't know why my players sit back when we score a goal and invite the pressure. You don't know as the manager, because we do it every single game pretty much. I encourage my team to go forwards, yet every single time they sit back. Do you think it's by choice or by directions of Arteta? It's by directions from Arteta at the end of the day. We're going to play open, expansive attacking football. We did for 2 games against Kairat Almaty of all teams in Champions League and the game afterwards. Those 2 games passed. Again, we are back to park the bus, Harambol tactics and set piece FC again, ole. Like, I won't be sad if we don't win anything. I want him sacked. I will be hella sad if we're not going to win anything. It's going to be painful. Because this season, more than any other season, is a season where we should be winning something. I know we say that every single season, but looking at the Premier League right now, if we don't win the Premier League, we're most likely never going to do it. Let's be real. Because the window of opportunity to win is very limited at the end of the day. At some point, that window is going to close, and you will have to wait for it to open again. And I'm very worried that if we don't win the Premier League this season specifically, we're gonna suffer like Liverpool are suffering this season. They won the Premier League last year. This season they are suffering. With all the overplayed players not managed properly with these tactics, the style and system, I'm very worried that next season we're gonna suffer the same fate as Liverpool are suffering right now to a degree. We might not be as bad as them on the table, but we definitely won't be there. We won't be up there fighting toe-to-toe with the team, like the potential title challengers next season. I'm very worried about that because it's not just physically draining how Arteta wants to play. It's also mentally draining because to motivate yourself for 5-6 years in a row to be in a title race when you are just thereabouts, and you don't win nothing, at some point, it just eats you from inside and destroys you. And it might not happen in everyday life. It might happen on the pitch when you start to stutter, when you start to overthink, when you shoot, when you should be passing, when you pass, when you should be shooting. Everything just genuinely goes into chaos and you cannot get back control. Not in the game, but of yourself, at least in the head mentally. And this loss to Man City in the Carabao Cup final, I think it is now. Arsenal know that they should be winning the league from this spot. But don't you think they are mentally there? Oh my God, we could ball this again. We have given City an incentive, an extra light to see and allow them to get back in it. We have allowed them to put their foot in the door that has pretty much closed, and you, God forbid, pray they don't pry the door open right now. Because if we start to screw this up, if we start to ball certain games, City will pounce on us. It's 9 points. 3 points, the game in hand for City. They beat Palace 6 points. We lose at Etihad. It's only 3 points, and then it's anybody's game. And after City, we have Newcastle. And let's not forget there's going to be Champions League in between if we get past Lisbon Sporting. And most likely it's going to be Barcelona or Atletico Madrid. And the game against Atletico Madrid is going to be completely different compared to what we had in the league stages. Just like last year it was against PSG. At home we blitzed PSG, by the way, 2-0. Not maybe by result, but what we saw on the pitch. Did we see any of that in the semifinals? No, we didn't. And it could be more of the same in the Champions League as well. Oh, Barcelona play with the high line. Wow. Well, City played with the high line. How did that work out for you? Because they dared us to go at them with that high line. And we just packed it in. We sat back. And let's be real, at Etihad, we're going to do the same thing. And most likely, we're going to lose once again. And then it's going to be panic settings, end of days, and that's going to be all she wrote. Like Looney Tunes, dip, 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 dip. That's all, folks. Odegaard being our captain is all proof you need to know that we are still a team that lacks balls. Yeah, exactly. And it comes from the manager. The manager is a coward, and that you can see installs the same mentality into players. They're also afraid. And prime example is the fact that they're afraid to take risks during the games. They play safe, pragmatic, and that's about it. They don't take risks. No thread the needle passes, nothing out of ordinary, just plain, simple, controlled. As long as we keep possession, we cannot concede. That's Arteta's tactics, and if we get lucky, we score a set piece. Big up, Oziange, big up. Big up. You know, Sophie from Hybrid Squad said that Wiltor would not be able to against Arsenal's car. Wiltor would easily get into Man City's team today. The thing is about this statement, the fact that Wiltord, in general, easily would get in this squad. The issue is Wiltord would not get in this squad, not because he's not good enough, because of Mikel Arteta. Because Arteta, he doesn't fit Arteta's style and system at all, the way Wiltord wants to play. And that is, it wouldn't be about Wiltord's ability. It would be about Mikel Arteta's ego more than anything. Big up, Marlon. Big up, boy. Big up. Sending Mangieri out on loan and giving 0 minutes to Skelly and Dauman in the final while playing Havertz in the midfield is truly criminal, yeah. And let's not forget, during that final, Declan Rice was playing right back at some point, started playing right back. Mid-game, somehow Saliba was left back, Gabriel was right back, Hinkapie and Ben White were center backs. There was a stage for about a good spell of 2-3 minutes. Like, it's very evident that this manager is clueless at certain stages of the game. And usually it's at the same time, in the same scenarios, just in different games. Especially when we can see the goal, Arteta only then starts thinking about substitutions. 65 minutes in, we can see the goal. Only at 65th minute, Arteta starts thinking about substitutions. Not at halftime, when Saka has stunk out the place, Trossard has been useless, Zubimendi has been crap. Not then. Not putting Norgard to gain control. Norgard wasn't even in the team sheet, I think. Not putting up Martinelli. God forbid, but still, Martinelli. Dauman, not putting anyone in. 65th minute, we concede. Arteta starts to think about substitutions. By the time the subs are ready, we have conceded the second goal. Too late to recall the subs. When we make the subs, Arteta subs on a defender. How is that going to help us? We don't ever throw kitchen sink at the game because Arteta is afraid that if we're going to go for it, the result is going to be embarrassing. I'm going to be honest with you. I much rather lose that final 4-0, fully knowing that we have gone for it. We have thrown kitchen sink at it, and Arteta has done everything he could. Not like this, how we lost this 2-0. Especially subbing on players like Jesus. How is he going to change anything in the game? A guy who has said himself that scoring goals is not his main trait. What can you expect from that? Absolutely what? Like, it's absolutely insane. We didn't even score. Exactly. We didn't even score against Wolves at our own stadium. Our depth is in quality minus the academy kids. No other elite team would buy Madueke, Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, Rhys Nelson, Zinchenko, Martinelli, and Odegaard. Exactly. Exactly. There's a big difference between depth and quality depth. Because Arsenal's depth feels like just depth in numbers. Depth in pieces. Not in quality. Just in numbers at the end of the day. And even then, Arteta, it looks like he fully consciously knows that the depth is not good enough. Because he usually subs the same players and player per player. He does nothing about it. Prime example for this is Christian Norgard, who scored, by the way, yesterday for Denmark. 4-0 win. He scored from a set piece. Yeah? Norgard has played 56 minutes. Yes, 56 minutes this season overall in Premier League. We have played 31 games. That's less than 2 minutes per game on average. Yet Norgard was Brentford's captain. He played for them constantly. He was a proven player and a sensible signing. Yet he plays not instead of Zubimendi. We need that Norgard instead of Zubimendi, just for the sheer physicality, the strength of the game. We needed that. And against City as well. We need a bully in the midfield. And we only have a marshmallow Zubimendi. So who's playing in the 10? Lord have mercy, Odegaard. By the looks of things, Odegaard is going to be back and he's going to play the 10. Unfortunately, as ridiculous and nuts it sounds. How ridiculous are the COYG rumors? Top Gunners eating it up. Also, if we sell Skelly to United, I'm boycotting this match and Berta would lose all credibility. Fact. Absolute fact. We talked about Kvaratskhelia yesterday on the stream about transfer rumors, right? I don't see it happening. I absolutely don't see it happening. Because he's winning there. As long as Luis Enrique stays there, he most likely is going to stay as well. And on top of all that, why would he leave? He's winning Ligue 1. He's most likely going to win the French Coupe de France. And in Champions League, they are within a good shot, potentially winning it again. He just won the treble. Why would he leave? Only way I can see Kvaratskhelia leaving is if Enrique leaves PSG. And the way Kvaratskhelia comes to Arsenal, only way is if Arsenal sack Arteta and sign Enrique. That's the only way I can see it. I'm going to be honest with you. Genuinely, I'm going to be honest with you. The Academy don't even play all of them. And by the way, speaking of Miles Lewis-Skelly, personally, knowing how Andrea Berta deals, I don't think we're going to sell Skelly to United. Because Andrea Berta strikes me as a no-nonsense BS type of person. And selling a player to direct rival. Our direct rivals are not Spurs. Our direct rivals are United. Let's be real. Wenger, Fergie days, George Graham, and all this stuff, right? Berta strikes me like a guy who is never going to do that. He's not a moron. He hopes so badly Havertz won it for us. Exactly. It was Arteta's way or the highway. It was the reason why last season we didn't sign a striker. Because at the end of 23-24 season, Havertz hit a purple patch for the second part after the magical Dubai trip when we fell out of FA Cup. Or Carabao Cup, one of them things. We went to Dubai, Havertz comes back, he hits a purple patch. That showed Arteta that we don't need a striker. Next season, he's going to do the same thing. No, he won't. The next season, we saw Havertz miss from 2 yards out. He was the reason why we got eliminated by United in the FA Cup. He missed from 6 yards out. He tripped over his own feet in the box and everything. Like, it's actually insane. Exactly. I said the same thing yesterday. Kvaratskhelia rumors, the overall rumors, even about Kvaratskhelia, even to a degree about Alvarez, right, are rumors to divert attention from Arsenal fans from the Carabao Cup loss. That is the only way. Because, like last year, we had the same thing. We lose a game, new merch drop. We lose a game, oh, somebody's coming back from injury. We lose a game, oh, Arsenal are linked with this and that. It's always the same, just in different type of scenario. Always the same. Nothing ever changes. Arteta's tricks always affect Gyökeres. I wonder why up to now Gyökeres not scored a hat-trick for Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. Gyökeres scored a hat-trick yesterday for Sweden. Penalty, 2 goals from open play. Beautiful job. Arsenal should learn. Big up Eros. Big up Eros. Mikel music in the building. Eros settings. We can't play like this, but he will go super defensive. Yeah. If Gabriel and Saliba are out once we come back from international break, right, we will have to play Mosquera and Hincapié. And that means Arteta is going to go even tenfold more defensive because he trusts Gabriel and Saliba as a partnership. He does not trust Mosquera and Hincapié as a partnership. Last time Mosquera played, he was shaking during the game like leaves shake when there's a storm outside. He was afraid. He was making so many mistakes. Mosquera, when he is under the pressure, he makes rash decisions. Big, utter mistakes that basically cost us goals. Dangerous moments where Raya has to make a wonder save to a degree. Because remember that there was a game this season, I forgot against who. Mosquera was playing, right? Mosquera was playing as a center back instead of Saliba. And simple situation, right? Just boot it out for a throw-in or just boot it forwards. He just randomly kicks it for a corner. And we concede from that corner. Like, it's always like that. Bear in mind, Graham Potter managed to unlock Gyökeres. Yeah, Graham Potter at Brighton, he played with Gyökeres. He managed Gyökeres. Yeah. Exactly. As soon as Gyökeres leaves Arsenal, he scores a hat-trick. Yeah. Arteta should learn. Arteta genuinely should learn. Big up, Eros. Big up. Gyökeres also scored a hat-trick with Sweden, arguably a worse side than ours. I'm not gonna lie, there is no arguably. Sweden is not the Sweden what they used to be with some players like Isaksson, Olof Molberg, Larsson, and Ibrahimovic even, and all these guys. Brolin, they are not the same. Let's be real, they're not the same at all. Arsenal, on paper, have better squad than Sweden's national team. Let's be real. The thing is, though, Sweden actually plays to help Gyökeres. Sweden plays to help Isak when he's playing. Arsenal play to help Arteta, and it's not working. It's not absolutely working. Big up, Godfrey. Big up. Yeah, exactly. Wolves scored 3 goals at Emirates. 2 own goals and 1 goal. How did we manage to scam and win there? I have no idea. Former Brentford captain, he's not a scrub. Exactly. He's not a scrub. Also, I think Zubimendi is very overhyped. I don't know in which universe these top Gunners figured that Zubimendi is a replacement for Thomas Partey. I have no idea what type of Arteta Kool-Aid they have drank all summer to figure that one out. Because in no way, shape, and form at all, by the way, is Zubimendi improvement over Thomas Partey. There was a reason why we, as Arsenal fans, not all of them, but a big part of them, Partey was playing in the midfield, right? Called him the general because he was one. Zubimendi can be only called a marshmallow or a taco, and not even a good one. Not even a good one. About week old, a bit moldy and stuff like that. $12 million give you 56 minutes of Premier League game time. Yeah, exactly. How embarrassing is that? This is about Norgard, by the way, people. Norgard, yeah, 56 minutes in Premier League. Less than 2 minutes per game on average. In this running, I prefer Norgard, so Declan doesn't have to hold Zubimendi hand in midfield. Yeah. Declan also could maybe focus more on the attack. He wouldn't have to be so gassed running up and down to cover Zubimendi's ass and everything. Let's be real. If Arteta just doesn't want to play Rice in the 8, play at least a bully destroyer next to him. So Declan Rice doesn't have to do job for 2 people. Let's be real. If you want to play Declan Rice in the 6, play Skelly next to him in the 8. God forbid we don't win a trophy. Watch Top Gunners spin Tottenham going down as the trophy. And that's even if Tottenham go down, by the way. Just praying on... That's the nuts part. If we don't win a trophy, Top Gunners are going to focus not on our issues, not on Arteta, not on the players, but on Spurs going down if Spurs go down. That shows, in general, where the mentality of these fans are. Because they are more concerned about Spurs going down, that their own club not winning a trophy for 6+ years, not winning Premier League for 23 years, not winning Champions League ever, FA Cup in 6 years, and 33 years since winning the Carabao Cup. That just shows where it is. And those, by the way, are the same fans who were basically sitting in Tottenham shirts 2 years ago when Spurs were playing Spurs were playing City in May, and Son was in one-on-one with Go, and they were all chanting, "Go Sonny, go! Go Sonny, go!" and all this stuff. Let's be real. Big up money. Big up money. Hope you're doing well. Madueke has been subbed off in the first half for England, replaced by Jared Bowen on an injury. Madueke was already half injured when he went to the England team. Apparently, it was said that they will monitor him and manage him. Look how he looks. But Madueke was already partially injured before he went to England international games. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, he is fully injured now. He is fully injured now. Now, officially, Madueke is injured. Madueke is fully injured now. Tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Tells you everything you need to know. Where is Madueke? Let me check this. Yeah, see? Here it is. Here it is. I can show you. This was before when he just got called up. England will monitor Noni Madueke during international duty after he is understood to have sustained a wrist issue during an accidental collision in Arsenal training on Friday. This was March 23rd, 4 days ago, when the England national team got announced and Madueke got called up. Yeah, and if we look at Madueke right now, right? If we just go and look at Madueke right now, that was then. And right now with Madueke, we are here. Breaking. Bad news for Arsenal as Noni Madueke was subbed off due to injury while on international duty for England against Uruguay just now. This is why I hate international breaks. Nothing about him being injured before. Let's be real. Nothing about that. Horrible scene as Joaquin Piqueres twisted his ankle after clash with Madueke. That's about Piqueres, not Madueke in this regard. So we're going to move on from that. But yeah, you get what I mean, people. He was already injured when he got called up. Zubimendi is the most overrated Spanish player. There are lots of those. Big up Prom. Big up Promise Gaming. Big up, my guy. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Hope this week has treated you very nicely and very warmly. And hope you're ready for some relaxing and chill weekend, my guy. Big up to you. Norgard would actually help Rice. Exactly. Way more Zubimendi. Oh, I forgot about Merino too. It makes me cringe to think that we have Sociedad 6th place Liga midfield. Exactly. We have 6th place Real Sociedad midfield. And that is supposed to win us the league, by the way. Make that make sense. Genuinely, make that make sense. Not to mention that at Arsenal, specifically, Mikel Merino, a guy who has never played striker in his life, looks better there than in his actual natural position where he has played his whole career. Huh? Make that make sense. More PRBS, exactly. I can see that 2-2 Wolves game, 2 Wolves games happening a lot more on Iranian games. Yeah, this effing manager can't learn. 6.5 years in charge, still hasn't learned squat, still makes the same mistakes. Hit the damn like button, people, and subscribe if you are new around here. Big up, people. Big up, big up, big up. If Olgar had the talent of Abu Dhabi, then maybe I'd forgive his injuries and poor performance, but he's a best slower Buendia. Dude, that's actually a disgrace for Buendia to a degree as well. Let's be real, Buendia actually has some bone to him. He actually gets into physical contacts and doesn't fall over as soon as he feels a snot falling on his hair. Arsenal for a long ago was good in terms of ball possession, but I wonder that current Arsenal can't. Well, Arsenal need to learn how to keep the ball on the ground more as well. And how to defend that, because as soon as a team lifts the ball off the ground, or keeps the ball on the ground, we are done. We cannot follow that. Big up KKX93. Big up. Imagine this team under Jurgen Klopp. Imagine this team under any proper manager. Luis Enrique, Hansi Flick, Carlo Ancelotti, even by the way, Antonio Conte. He would make this team just woof. Remember, Partey played at right back on Costas Villa. Partey so good, very so good, and very exactly. Partey played right back in that infamous 2-2 draw against Fulham at home 2 years ago, when where Paulinho scored from a corner with 10 men, when Zinchenko just came onto the pitch and without any reason just booted out the ball for a corner. They scored from that corner, and for God knows what reason, also Gabriel Magalhaes was holding bench for the first 5-6 games of the season. Arteta never explained that one as well, by the way. Still waiting for an answer on that. Yep, another injury. Not really a surprise, though, is it? I remember how in 2006 we took Mickey out of them as they choke on top 4, only to lose the Champions League final to Barcelona. Karma for us, but at least Spurs choked. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't care about Spurs. Yes, I want to win every North London derby and all this stuff, but I could not give a flying damn about Spurs at the end of the day. Spurs get relegated. It will be shocking to a degree. It will be funny. But I will be more worried about my own team, especially if we don't win stuff. If we win stuff, I don't give a damn. Yeah, it's a joke and not a joke. It's reality. England are just like Arsenal. Why risk him, give him a recover? Exactly. Well, BBC Sport have reported that he suffered a head injury, so I'm assuming that it was for a possible concussion. Poor management all around. Well, we'll see. That concussion can lead to many things. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's just a mild concussion, because concussions also take a while to recover sometimes from. Only players I'd keep are Raya Saliba, Timber, Gabriel Rice, as a Gyökeres, and Saka, only because of how he has carried. Maybe they're fullbacks, but surely the rest are mid. Yeah. The thing is, the biggest question for you all from me right now, if we don't win this season, right? Hypotheticals. If we don't win anything this season, will there be a player who is going to hand in transfer request? And if so, then who? Obviously, it kind of depends whether Arteta is going to get sacked or not if we don't win anything. But let's just say we don't win anything this season. Will there be a player who hands in a transfer request? Or he will basically trust the process for one more year, so to speak, if we get a new manager? Because if Arteta stays, I will not be surprised if someone hands in a transfer request. But if Arteta leaves, will there be a player who hands in a transfer request? Will there be one? Gyökeres scored a hat-trick. I wonder why. Yeah, Arteta is not in charge of Sweden. That's why. Let's be real. Moreover, having to pay 67.5 million for former Arsenal Academy player Neze just shows how shit our talent ID was even back then. No wonder we struggled. Yeah, but that was back in the day in the youth system and everything. Like, maybe he didn't show himself good enough. To be honest, cannot even use that as an excuse personally, because if I look at this, I think everyone knows the Harry Kane story. That Harry Kane used to be in Arsenal's academy before he joined Spurs and went, well, not joined Spurs, but went that direction, right? Arsenal cut him from the academy, right, with justification that he was too chubby, right, and he will never make a good striker. He didn't have enough movement. He wasn't agile enough. That was the justification by Arsenal at the time. Harry Kane. And we all know who Harry Kane is. Let's be real. Yeah, I even forgot Big Gubby being benched. He needs exactly. Like, it makes no sense. Yeah, get him out. Absolutely, we shouldn't judge our season by how well did we compare to Spurs. It's always important that we stay in our lane. Exactly, near the end of Wenger's time, Spurs can be in the inside. Like, let's be real, the Spurs were different or the same. Like, Spurs have been to Champions League final more recently than Arsenal. Let that sink in. Spurs have won a European trophy in last year, and Arsenal have won nothing in Europe. Well, the less said than better how long that has been. Our focus should always be trophies, exactly. Our own club and trophies. Yes, Declan, Saliba, Gabriel will ask to leave. For me personally, if there was anyone who would ask to leave, it would be either Saliba or Gabriel. God forbid both. With Gabriel, it's mostly because of age, first things first. Second of all, because Gabriel has openly said in an interview, when he got asked, does he consider himself and Saliba world class? Gabriel has said himself that me and Saliba have a fantastic partnership. We are one of the best, if not the best duo defender, center backs as a partnership in Premier League, maybe in Europe. However, we cannot consider ourselves world class until we win major trophies. Gabriel has said it himself. So at some point, the penny has to drop because Gabriel Magalhaes is what, 28? Or 27 still? Gabriel is 28 years old. This year, he's going to be 29 years old. December 19th, he's going to be 29 years old. Saliba will be the first one to hand a transfer request. To be honest, Arteta would have sold him like 5 years ago if he didn't got stroke of luck. I could see the likes of Saliba wanting to move, maybe Saka too if he suffers another injury. Yeah, but who's going to take Saka? Saka looks finished, done and dusted, and nobody would want him. 300 bags a week. Come on, man. Who's going to pay him that? Saudis only. Unless he takes a massive wage cut. And let's be real, his wife will not want to move, future wife. Saka is finished. He's been running to the ground and I don't see it changing. Let's just pray the same doesn't happen to Dauman. I'm worried about Dauman as well. The longer he stays here and the longer Arteta stays at this club, the bigger chance that he's going to ruin Dauman. Declan is one of our most important players. What do you mean he can go? It's Marlon. He still thinks Kivior is better than Saliba, I guess. Former Arsenal youngster Serge Gnabry scoring for Germany tonight. Donny Malen also starting for Holland. Two young talents. Let's slip through our fingers, yeah. And the Serge Gnabry is one of the most annoying ones. Let's be real. He never gave him an utter proper chance. I'm also pissed off about, for example, Forlan Balogun. Because we didn't have a proper striker at the time. And Arteta didn't want to buy a striker, but instead he sold Forlan Balogun to Monaco. And he's doing very well at Monaco. He's becoming a very good striker right now. He's leading USA national team. He's going to be one of their main target guys, if not the main target guy in the World Cup as well for USA. He is fantastic for them. He's very good at Monaco as well. He gets an injury here or there, I'll admit. But overall, he is very, very good for Monaco. And Balogun at the moment this season, he has, wait, let me check this. Balogun has 9 goals and 5 assists in 23 games. He has 15 goals, 5 assists in all competitions. By the way, I can show you this. I will show you this. These are Forlan Balogun stats at the moment this season. These are Balogun's stats this season. That Wolves game we can see, 9 goals so far, in the league. These are Balogun's stats. Don't forget about Emi Martinez, a much better all-around goalkeeper than. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You have gone through about 9 goalkeepers with Mikel Arteta as well. Biereth is also at Monaco. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But look, 23.95. In all competitions, 36 games, 15 goals, 5 assists. 36 games, 5 goals, 15 goals, 5 assists. So 20 points. Wait, I'm just curious. Bear with me here, people, right? Bear with me here. Balogun has better stats than Victor Gyökeres in all competitions. Seriously. Wait, I misclicked. Sorry. I misclicked. I'm very, very sorry. Balogun has better stats than Gyökeres, ironically enough. We should have kept Chesney over Cup. Yeah, we should have. How does that work? Well, I know how it works. It's Mikel Arteta and everything, but Balogun has better stats than Gyökeres. And don't get me wrong, I love Gyökeres. I want him to succeed at Arsenal. But the sheer fact that the season Arsenal decided not to sign a striker because Havertz had a purple patch the second part of the season, and we sold Balogun at the same that summer, really pisses me off. Let me check Mika Biereth. How is he looking? 23 years old, from Denmark. Yeah, Biereth is not it. He's definitely not it. He hasn't played much, to be honest. 36, about 20. Yeah, Biereth is Biereth. Yeah. Biereth is not it. Let's be real. Reverse them in the teams. Gyökeres would have 30. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Gyökeres in Monaco team would bag goals with his eyes closed for fun, without shadow of a doubt. The way Monaco play with Akliuche, with Golovin. Who was that winger they had? Sorry. Who was the winger they had? They have also, obviously, they have Ansu Fati. Give me a sec. I will check. They have Ansu Fati, Takumi Minamino, of course. Adingra from Sunderland as well. They have bought Adingra and everything. Like he would ball out there, absolutely ball out there. Let's be real. He would be balling left, right, and center. I would be interesting to see how Balogun does in Premier League in Arsenal. That would be very interesting to see. Saying that, I actually can see, I don't know, not maybe West Ham, but team like Bournemouth, team like Brentford, or something like that, actually signing Balogun at some point of the if it comes to it. If they get linked with it, they can see him coming to Premier League to play for one of those teams. Maybe even Aston Villa to a degree. I can see Balogun playing it as well, especially once Watkins' career ends, because Watkins as well is not the youngest spring chicken. He's 30 years old. They need proper players as well. Yeah, exactly. But while we are talking about French players, right? While we are talking about French players, this is what I wanted to show you as well. Lille want to make Arsenal target Bowadi as their new club record sale. The current record holder is Nicolas Pepe. God forbid. They won about what, 19 million pounds for him. 90 million pounds or something like that. Like, seriously. How is Aubameyang doing? Pepe and Lacazette. Let's check this. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. This is Aubameyang. These are Aubameyang's stats. Just putting. These are Aubameyang's stats. Let's just put it that way. These are Aubameyang's stats. He has 12 goals, 10 assists in 35 games. He has still more GA than Gyökeres, ironically enough. He's doing very good in Champions League. 8 games, 7 points. He was doing very good. 8 goals, 6 assists as well for Aubameyang. He doesn't even start every single game, by the way. He starts like 60% of the games, as you can see. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. Usually someone like Greenwood or something just bags the goals. Lacazette has retired, so I think, or not. I might be talking out mess. Oh no, he plays for Nyom. He plays for Nyom in Saudi Pro League. How is Lacazette doing in Nyom? Oh, see, Lacazette in Saudi League. 26 games, 11 goals, 5 assists. He's actually doing very damn good. Very, very damn good, to be honest, if you ask me. Nicolas Pepe, that's an interesting one, because I follow Villarreal as well in La Liga, so I tend to pay extra attention for that. Nicolas Pepe, 5 goals, 6 assists. 5 goals, 5 assists in 28 games, which seems like not a lot. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, he has scored some crucial goals for them, some crucial free kicks and everything. He's doing actually pretty decently. Boadi would be good, but knowing the way we operate with, I think Boadi, 100 million for Boadi, I'm not paying that. Exactly, Boadi is 18 years old. It would be criminal if we sign him for 90 million when we have one Jurriën, MLS, endowment. Exactly, and for those 90 million, we can sign, for example, Kenan Yildiz, if we wanted to. That's the thing. If we were willing to take pay cut, I'd almost bet on Aubameyang reuniting with Unai Emery at Aston Villa. I think it's too late for Aubameyang in those terms. Like, Aubameyang is not young anymore. He's 36 years old. It's a bit too late for that. I strongly believe so. Emphasis on it's almost, may not have the clue. Yeah, exactly. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about is this. And people, I think, are you going to be happy with this? I would assume so. I would assume so. It is confirmed, apparently, allegedly confirmed, that Gabriel Jesus is leaving Arsenal this summer. The club have decided not to extend his contract, which was set to run until 2027. So 1 more year. How is he leaving this summer if he has 1 more year on his deal? 265 bags a week. Second highest earner behind Bukayo Saka. By the way, notice this one. Bukayo Saka gets 300,000 plus with bonuses, which means if he plays most likely specific amount of minutes, right, in the game, he scores a goal or gets an assist or something happens, one of those, commercial, brand, contract stuff, incentives and everything, he actually gets more than 300 grand a week. 300 grand a week is just his place-based hard salary. He gets money on top of the stuff he does on the pitch. The thing is, though, how the way he is performing and the fact that he is just not scoring, not doing things, I wonder what the bonuses are, because if I was Saka with the fact that I get bonuses for goals and assists, if that is the case, I would be trying to score goals, but that also would explain why Saka is so selfish. In the last 3-4 months, especially, Saka has become very, very visibly selfish. He shoots instead of passes when Gyökeres is open, when Martinelli or Eze have been opened, or Timber. He shoots on purpose, even though there are 2-3 defenders in front of him. That would explain a lot. I'm not gonna lie. That would explain a lot. Let's just put it that way. Wait. Jesus was good in few games, yeah, but other than he's not. The thing is, if Jesus doesn't get injured in Qatar specifically, I think it would have been quite a bit different. The thing is, he got injured and he hasn't recovered since. Afterwards, Arteta rushed him back when we were 8 points clear and shit was hitting the fan. It dropped to 5 points and he rushed him back. He got injured again. He has injured the same knee 3 times out of 4 when he has been injured with knee issues. So Arteta has ruined him. I wish him good luck. Yeah, maybe. He doesn't want to go back to Brazil. Jesus and his agent have stated themselves that he doesn't want to go back to Brazil. He wants to basically go stay in Europe. Thank the Lord if this is true. Nothing against Jesus, but we need to move on from this propensity to buy City and Chelsea rejects. Yeah. And 265 grand a week, that will open up so much space. That is over £1 million a month in wages alone. Got to go now. Second half about to start. As always, big up to you. Big up, Nomi. Big up. Hope you're doing. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for being here. Big up to you, my guy. Hope everything's fine with you. Big up, bro. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is this. And I'm not too sure whether it's just glazing, whether it is a coincidence or what it is. I'm going to be honest with you, but here it is. Anthony Gordon ranks Bukayo Saka ahead of Alan Shearer in his ultimate England bracket. There was a bracket he was doing, doing the England players, and he ranked Bukayo Saka higher than Alan Shearer, which is actually very, 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 very unique. Because it's not like he basically had to pick one or the other, right? He openly had to head-to-head battle Alan Shearer versus Bukayo Saka, and he picked Bukayo Saka, right? And for me, the biggest question is he actually thinking that, or is this just a PR stunt of him glazing Arsenal and Bukayo Saka? So in summer, Arsenal go for him to try and sign him. Because with Arsenal and these type of scenarios, you can never have anything for granted. And it's a weird one, I know. It's a very weird one, to say the least. But hey, here we are, and there we land, as they say. That's why I wanted to talk about this. It's very, very interesting situation about it. I'm not so sure am I reading too much into it or not, but definitely feels like there is something to it. Let's just put it that way. So time only will tell. But for now, it is what it is. Let's just say it like that. But overall, yeah, Arsenal are in this spot where season can unravel really rapidly and go south real goddamn quick if they are not careful and they not do the job properly. The injuries definitely are going to play a big role. How big for all time only will tell. But for now, Arsenal need to, basically survive the international break because Noni Madueke is injured. We are in the spot where this could go south real goddamn quick. Let's just put it that way. This could go south real goddamn quick, to say the least. So time only will tell. Time only will show. But for now, yeah, Arsenal need to deal with for what's in front of them. The football IQ has absolutely dropped in these young players. They're all athletes, but rarely do we see footballers. And that is the biggest thing. These days, you have to be more of an athlete than actually a football player to make it. That's why, for example, players like Cherki, Lamine Yamal, and other more technical and skillful players look like they are out of this world, breath of fresh air. Because 15, 20 years ago, it was normal. It was an everyday thing to see ballers like that. These days, it is becoming an extinct type of art. It's like, for example, out-and-out number 10s have gone partially extinct in football. The same goes for these type of ballers, like it used to be. It's not the same anymore. We are just now in this phase of football where it is painful to watch it to a degree because of the physicality aspect and to being an athlete. Let's just put it like that. But yeah, for today, I'm going to be signing off. So people, like the stream, subscribe if you're new. I'm going to see you all tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow, we get some good news. Hopefully. But only time will tell. Peace.